guys, and welcome back to Series 2, Episode 21 of the House Renovations.
So if you've just tuned in, expecting to see the grand reveal, the grand finale of the finished kitchen, all looking all shiny and all good and all finished and all complete and all done, we don't have to talk about the kitchen ever again.
You're going to be disappointed.
So we thought we'd start off today's episode with a little bit of a game.
We would like you to comment and let us know what episode you think we are actually going to get to reveal the kitchen for you.
Because at this rate, I'm going to go ahead and guess probably episode 50, 100, series 27, I don't know. So I'm going to start off today's video by doing something I hadn't actually planned on doing today or in today's video. I've just found out that our worktop fitter, or our countertop fitter, who's basically going to be doing all of the carpentry and the woodwork, getting the worktops on, isn't actually going to be here for maybe 2 to 3 or 4 weeks time, which is quite a long time to actually wait. So that basically means that I can get on and do a few more things. And one thing, or a major bit of work we've got to do on the kitchen, which again, yes, we could have done before we actually installed the kitchen. That would have been the ideal situation. But with timescales and getting things done, we installed the kitchen first. And that is to actually get some plumbing into the kitchen, because I know a lot of you have actually noticed that we don't have any plumbing. So we spoke about in the last video our dishwasher, which is going to be going there, which got delivered in the last video, and also the sink, which will be going here. There's no plumbing down there, so that's one thing we've got to sort out now. And to do that, that means that this room has to be fully attacked. And yes, like I keep saying, this room luckily hasn't actually been touched yet. This is going to be the last room we actually tackle in the house. So behind this bit of insulation, the hot and cold water goes down that wall and it basically just stops down there. So we need to now run some new water pipes. Let's see if we can actually see. It's probably too dark. Yeah, it's way too dark. Basically, the water pipes have to run long through into this corner of the room, through the wall, and then into the back of the sink and the actual dishwasher, which is literally just the other side of the wall there. As you can see, we already have the, what's it called? Speed fit pipe there. And also I've got a whole bag of all of the accessories. So all of this should be everything we need to actually get the plumbing sorted. We've got the waste pipe stuff there, some more waste pipe there. So in theory, we can actually get on and get all of this waterworks and plumbing work in situ. And yes, it is slightly annoying that I now have to move everything in this room again to be able to get to that back wall to do all of that plumbing work. That's all I seem to do in this room, is literally move stuff from one side to the other. But by doing this, this does mean that we are now again one step closer to actually getting a livable house. So by drilling through this stud here, that basically means that we can get the hot and cold water, which comes through from the ceiling, through this pillar here, and then we can start to carry on the water going that way. There we go, just job. Perfect. Yeah, so if you feed them through, then I should be able to poke them through the hole, which I've just drilled in this corner down here. So I know a lot of you are probably going to be thinking, why on earth didn't you install the plumbing before you actually installed these cupboards? Well, the thing is, we don't do things the easy way, as you know, and also timescales and getting things, like I said earlier, just meant we actually had to fit the kitchen first, otherwise we'd have been like delayed with other things.
He's a good boy.
So there's Right, so as you can see, there's Riley, hello boy. Yeah. As you can see now, that hot and cold pipe we just put through that corner has come out there, which means we can now connect it into those we've just put in, and then that will then join onto there, and then the hot and cold will come down and run water straight through into the kitchen. And one thing that is going to be slightly difficult to do is to get the wastewater through. Obviously we're putting in the hot and cold at the moment, but we also need to put in a new waste pipe, which would take the wastewater away from the sink and the dishwasher and stuff, which is the other side of this wall. So you obviously just watched me drill those hot and colds through that wall. I've now had to go and hire or rent one of these, which is a SDS drill, I think it is. And where's the bit there? So basically this hole here has to be drilled through that wall there to run the pipe, same with these pipes here along that back wall, through this pillar down there as well. And also I then have to drill it through the external wall, which is an 18-inch solid stone wall because this is an old house. So I've got to drill this all the way through there to be able to get into the drain on the outside of the house. We're just trying to work out what I was doing then. Basically we just drilled some holes through the actual cupboard. So as you can see in the cupboard here, we've now ran a new waste pipe. So the kitchen sink, which is going to go here, will tee into this bit, but we've just left it a little bit long at the moment. So when the actual sink and tap and waste and everything goes in, we've got an extra bit of play. So then it goes along there and then through the wall, which I just drilled with that big core drill. So if you look through here, the pipe comes through the wall there with the hot and cold water. And now that basically means that I need to drill another one with this big drill through this pillar here, which is probably going to prove quite difficult. Alright, I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break from doing that plumbing work now and do something slightly different. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm waiting for a worktop fitter or a countertop fitter to fit our worktops because I feel like we need to get a professional in to do that. It's beyond me, the actual carpentry skills to kind of get the corners and the joints in the right place, sit the hob in and the sink in and everything all in the right positions and places and stuff. So that is why we're waiting for a worktop fitter. But one thing that I feel like I can do, and that is to fit those shelves which are going to be going down the side of this cupboard here, and also put the shelf in above the fridge up there. Now this lovely piece of wood here, which is the oak wood, which is exactly the same as the actual worktop, but this isn't going to be used as the worktop. This piece of wood here is slightly thinner than the actual worktop we're going to be using, but this piece of wood is the wood we're going to be using for these shelves up there. The actual worktop, oh, we're a bit overexposed. The actual worktop is kind of stored in these long boxes down here at the moment, are slightly thicker than this piece of wood here. Even though they're exactly the same, this is just slightly thinner, and like I just said, that is going to be used for the actual shelves up and around there. But at least this gives you a nice idea of what the actual kitchen and the kitchen worktop is going to look like once it's done, and I think it looks absolutely flipping gorgeous. But now it's time to cut that and get this shelf up there.
So did you buy a new tape measure for this one?
Hey, this is the first time this piece of wood's going up here. First time it's going to fit like an absolute glove, hopefully. Ta-da!
Look at that!
What are you saying, Holly?
It looks
so
beautiful.
I've tried to do it so there's going to be the same amount of overhang on here than there will be overhang of the actual worktop to match it.
Ah.
I mean, we could move it back if we wanted and make it flush, but what do you reckon? Keep it with the overhang?
I think so for now, and then see how we like it.
Because I've also left a gap down the back as well, because this is obviously an integrated fridge, basically about this much gap for airflow to be able to get down, so we haven't blocked up any of that. But this is pretty much where we think the shelves are going. The main reason is because Holly wanted this little one here, didn't you, Holly?
I've got a teapot that fits perfectly.
So we've basically measured these to fit Holly's teapot, and then
it's either
syrup
like,
flavourings for coffee.
Yes, either that or like alcohol bottles will all fit hopefully in there, unless they're crazy big. Look what I found!
What have you got?
Decorations. So, when we were in the flat, we had empty gin bottles, which we put candles in, and then the wax comes down, and I think they look really pretty, and they used to live on the fridge before, and I think now you've done this, that it will be perfect for them to live on the fridge again.
When we said we didn't really drink much, we actually did mean that we put empty
We have empty bottles on display because we really don't drink that much.
So you can see that we've got a cable just at the top there, and also a cable down there. So those cables were already put in, ready to put lights along the top of the cabinets and down the bottom of the cabinets, but it also means that I want to make sure that we light this section up as well, because it's a little bit dull.
And that looks so good.
And also, should probably get a bulb for up there, because that's been like that for about 6 months.
It's on the to-do list, like everything else.
But I know you're doing your little bit of interior design right now, Holly, getting your bulbs up, making it all look all nice and pretty.
Too soon.
A little bit too soon, because I want to do those shelves over there now, which means taking that cabinet off, and I don't want to smash those bottles when we're kind of dealing with that. So yes, they've been in storage for over 2 years, but we need to take those back down.
2 minutes of daylight.
So I didn't want to bore you then, but we just spent about 4 hours cutting the 4 shelves, which now perfectly fit in between this shelf and the old chimney breast. And I just angle grinded these brackets, because they were basically like 2 screw corner L bracket, but I basically just cut one of them off to look like this. So when they're under the shelf, not too much is sticking out, because if you look there, the 2 screws would stick out a lot further than just that 1 screw. So what I've got to do now lie, Holly. These aren't the easiest things to fit, but a couple more screws and they'll all be done.
It looks like you have no head. So after a whole day of faffing with the shelves, they are done. And yes, this might be a little bit soon, because considering the rest of the kitchen, but I have more things.
Holly's been back up in the old storeroom.
More things for our shelves.
Look at this, Holly.
Yes, we designed a shelf for the teapot.
So we did spend quite a long time trying to work out the exact measurements. It's taken us literally weeks. As you all saw, we had these bits of cardboard stuck on here to kind of indicate where the shelves are going. And as you can see now, it's all come to life.
Lovely.
So yes, we got a perfect line at the bottom there. This one lines up with that one. The top one lines up over there. And we will be putting, which is called a chamfer, or a little plinth, which basically goes straight along the bottom. And then also another one which goes straight along the top to tie it all in together. The wood, the shelves are going to be exactly the same, like I said, as the actual worktop, which is going to be across there.
I honestly love it. If you ignore the rest of the kitchen, this little bit is pretty much done.